Our next candidate, Brian Fillmore.
I'll stand too so that you can see me. I'm not the tallest guy in the room. Planning is so important for any community. We have an official community plan that came into place in 2008, and I commend the people that were involved in that. They did a really good job. Our future looks really bright. We have an exciting document. We have, oh, I better talk a little closer, thank you. We have a plan to increase density, and some of the great things about Nanaimo are the very unique neighborhoods we have. I mean, look at Brecken. Look at Departure Bay, the old city quarter. We live in one of the greatest cities in the world, but one of the most important, but even though we've done good in some areas, we've done kind of bad in some areas as well. I really don't like the way we're seeing the north and the south divisions. We need to spread things out throughout our whole community. Everything can't be in one area, but what we have to do now is continue to work together as a community and acknowledge everybody and come together to work for our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Diana Johnson.
Thank you. Planning for now and in the future is so, so important for our future generations. I want my grandchildren to be able to live in a community that has clean water, a green community that has low carbon, that becomes carbon neutral. I want to be able to see a community where transportation is mostly by foot or by rail or by bus, and cut down on the transportation by car. I really feel that that our city is on the right path. It was wonderful to be part of a council this year that we went through two plans, the Brecken Newcastle Neighborhood Plan and the South Nanaimo Plan, and it was wonderful to see so many people come out and take part in that process. I think that's what's so nice about planning, is it really is something that the community grasps onto. They like to be part of it, and they do come out and speak to it.
Thank you. I think we need to check our yellow light. It maybe blew a bulb. Rob Zuvir.
Thank you, and thanks for all of you coming out tonight. Planning is one of the most important things, and we started early. We assure that we talk to people and we do their vision. Our city should be the vision of everybody. Our city should be a planned vision that we can all live, hope to see in the future will be something that everybody wants to come and see. When you make changes to your plan, it has to be done early, open, transparent. It needs to be what we can live, thrive on, and enjoy 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years down the road. We need to grasp what we have as beauty here, maintain it, and plan to maintain part of that green space so that everybody can come and enjoy Nanaimo. Failing to plan will only make Nanaimo lesser of a city. It is a great city. It will be a better city if we plan to build it together. And I mean from south to north to east to west. Let's build Nanaimo as the best planned city, not as a city that will have issues that will put us at a side. We need to build the best city planned to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thanks to all the candidates for their opening statements. Now we're just going to open up the discussion amongst the candidates. And as I mentioned, the organizers have been canvassing people in the community associations, the neighborhood groups. And when it comes to planning, something that they were hearing a lot was that we're told that both the official community plan in this community and the neighborhoods plan, they're the guiding framework for planning. That's the idea. But some of the most controversial issues that are facing your community are about local planning decisions. So I think people would like to hear how you go about balancing the guiding principles of this official community plan with the pressures that you will face on council for change. How do you propose to make the development process accountable to this community at the same time? Who'd like to jump on that one? Okay.
There's several approaches to planning, and I think it's really important in setting your plan to know how you are going to put your plan together. There are lots of models out there that I think we should be referring to.
Is that too high?
There's an adaptive management plan. And when you plan according to that, you measure everything, and it has to be measurable, and you decide whether you are succeeding or failing. And if you're failing, then you decide what the problems are, and then you can work at correcting them. So it's important that we measure what we plan. That's one kind of management scheme. Another one is the nested management, where it's important that the environment supports the community and the community support the economy. And they have to be in proportion to each other. There's a plan for planning a successful city we could look to for guidance in putting our plan together. And there's a plan for a creative city, and that is the plan that I'm really interested in and very excited about. And if you go to my website, you'll see that you can click on to the creative city. Oh, sorry.
No campaigning here. It's all discussion.
Right. Sorry.
No, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I'll ask another candidate to jump in and talk about how do you balance what the community plan says or the neighborhood has told you and these other pressures. Just lead into that.
Of course, we've had to put plans ahead for 20 years, 50 years, what we do, but things change. The economy changes it as well. The growth of each city, depending on where it is and what we bring to it, is going to change. So you're going to have established neighborhoods, which I've lived in and live in again. So you got to keep changing with the times. I was at a hotel and resort conference 3 weeks ago in Vancouver, and I think a lot of you have heard of Michael Campbell. And he's suggesting that long-term planning now in any financial or anything we're doing is 2 years, believe it or not. It's 20 years. That's how fast the world's changing on what's happening in Europe and everything else. The other thing changing in here, if we look at the average age of people in here too, so if we just keep saying, let's go build residential big monster houses, that doesn't quite work with the people that are sitting in this room today, because we need a different type of housing than we needed 40 years ago. As the baby boomers are getting older too, we have to look at housing. We need hospitals in the area. What else do we need to make sure we're supporting? So we've got to, each neighborhood has to look at what's happening. The north end, again, is getting full up. So we look at the south end. Now you look at Cinnabar Valley and how it's grown and changed. The Jinglepot area has changed. We've got 2 big developments that have been approved south of town, and that's making the changes.
Rob?
When you look at the plan, you have to realize that plans need to include services for everybody to enjoy their backyards. We can't plan to build one area of the town and let another area of the town suffer. So when a plan is put in there, it needs to have the ability to adopt to every needs that this community wants. Their plan has to be able to sustain themselves within a little branch. You got a plan to change so that as things are coming in, that you change with them. People move, people change neighborhoods, they move from the south, maybe they get a better job, they move to the north. They change too, and some of their plans move with them. And we've seen that happen before, that some neighborhoods will have a certain group and then they move on and it can change things. We want to work on the plan to assure that when you leave that community, the community is accepted by the next people moving in. So the plan has to be both visionary in the future and in for today's living, but it has to be one that we can all live under. We can all have services provided to us, so we don't have to go to the north to get something or to the other. We can go to our own backyard and find
All live under. How do you, Brian, bring in the neighborhood into this discussion about planning and also, in a realistic way, adopt what the neighborhood is telling you?
I was just about to speak to that. The official community plan did, all the neighborhood plans were all brought in to create the official community plan. So we do need to have one plan that kind of supersedes everything else in order to have long-range planning. But an official community plan is a living plan. It's not set in stone forever. Things change. So it's very important that we open up and become more inclusive. The neighborhoods are what really make Nanaimo a unique community, and I'd like to find a way to, I would like to see us as a city have, semi-annual open town hall meetings where we discuss lots of things, including neighborhood planning. Just be open, involve the community, don't make decisions behind closed doors and then bring them out. Just include the community, and there's ways to do that. It's done in lots of communities.
How well is Nanaimo doing this now, Diana Johnson?
I think Nanaimo is doing pretty well with our community planning. I think we could be more collaborative with it. we have a lot of talent in our community, and I know a lot of people. We have advisory committees, the Plan Nanaimo Advisory Committee, which is, has a lot of expertise on it. But and just visiting the university yesterday and talking to some of the students, there's some excellent ideas coming out of that institution, and I think we need to involve our youth more in community planning. I think that, I know 2 young men came out to one of the committees yesterday and took part after we invited them, and they were pleased to be there, and I'm sure they had some good input. So we have to involve the Chamber of Commerce, the Port Authority, Airport, and the Chamber of Commerce in all of our planning.
Bruni?
Most of the plan that went into the community planning that took 4 years of all kinds of wonderful input by the people was not implemented. It never got any further than words. Like green transportation, oh, well, we'll just put a sign on the roads that says, share the road with the car. Are you kidding? That's a death wish. And the conference center, losing money. Who planned that? And right in the middle, look at that place, right in the middle. 2 big buildings. Now, why don't we just put a nice glass roof over top, and there could be artists, create jobs, people could sit. Oh no, there's got to be a car that goes along that beautiful cobble street road. Please, it would be excited to get involved in some town planning and put in a little bit of female energy.
That's 2 calls for female energy tonight. It's getting a lot of support too, the concept. Something that the community groups, I think, are wondering amongst themselves is, well, what about going into some sort of a mediation process? When you have, a developer that wants to come into a part of a community and change things, and should there be a third party that somehow is analyzing this and is collaborating with the community, the developers, someone who is overseeing this from a third-party point of view? Does that make sense? And how might you do it?
Well, I think, of course, you want to involve as many people in your planning as you can from throughout the community. But in the end, the underpinning point is the official community plan. And so everyone has to see how their wishes tie in with the community plan. And if it can be adapted to fit in with the community plan, then that's very good. Then, they can come to a decision.
That was a good conversation because the time's all gone already. It just zipped right by.
20 minutes.
Because that's 20 minutes right there to the timing table. Okay.
I have energy too.
Male energy. Thanks, everyone.